I'm going to be visiting Pakistan middle. Hey, I'm going to be visiting Pakistan middle to end of December. TikTok, I'm going to need your help for anyone living in Pakistan that will be in Pakistan during that time. Excuse the hair, I just got a haircut. But if you live in Pakistan, I'm looking for your recommendations for great places to visit. Entertainment, restaurants, sightseeing, just beautiful places, man. Not afraid to go anywhere, not afraid of anything. So just let me know. I will be having security when I go. I am going to be streaming. I'm going to be making videos. If there's certain things that you guys want to see, I'm going to be doing everything raw. I don't really edit my videos. So live streaming, my reception, I'm not counting on it, but I will be posting videos. I want to show you guys a side of Pakistan that's not like the propaganda you see, but I want to show you the beauty of the people, the beauty of the country. Forget the government. That's always separate. And I've always said we need to dissociate the government with the people and the country. So give me your recommendations. Looking forward to it. See you guys soon. Hey. All right, you can see going through traffic just like this. All right, here we go. Game of Frogger. Watch this. Let's see. All right, that's not gonna work. Here we go. This is gonna work a little bit better. There we go. Perfect. We got open chickens. I don't know why these guys are loose. Looks like they're pets because they're pretty. All right, you can see going through. You can see here. Everybody's going freely, man. Everybody's got work. They have families. Everybody's doing their thing. You can see coolers, shoes vendors, all different kinds of vendors, man. The noise is insane here. Here we go. Let me turn the background noise filter off, just so you guys can get a thing of what this sounds like here in Lahore. It's going around, man. It's so loud. Alright, this is I was getting a ride. रिक्शा पे वो राइड ले रहा था भाई मेरे माशाल्लाह मैंने देखा ये हमारे बाहर वाले बोलते हैं तो वो रोकते हैं कहते हैं यार मैं राइड ले लूँगा इंशाल्लाह चलते हैं देखते क्या होगा
ये होगा जो आप शॉपिंग के लिए खाने के लिए जा रहे हो वहाँ ड्रॉप हो जाएंगे आप मैं अपने घर चला जाऊँगा आप अपने घर
यार बड़ा शुक्रिया
हमारा चलो पुलिस का हमारी पंजाब पुलिस का जो है ना और हमारी पुलिस का नाम बुलाओ ये चीज़ नहीं होती पकड़ नहीं होती
जी सर
ठीक है ना हमने आप आते रहे थे ना मैंने कहा ये लोकल समझ रहे हैं बस को
यार
ये जो बस गई है ना ये लोकल नहीं है
ये लोकल नहीं है
कॉलेज की थी यूनिटी कॉलेज है
सॉरी इस तरफ पे मैं जाता हूँ तो फिर वो रिक्शा वहाँ पे रुकता है यार
जी
4 दिन सब वो चल रहा है ऐसे ही
अच्छा आप इधर स्टे किया हुआ है जिम का
ये मेरे चाचा है मेरे चाचा वो मेंबर है वो एडवोकेट काफी
मैं कहता हूँ ये मेरा मोहल्ला है यार वो
Just look at ये देखो ये भाई जो है ना ये इसकी तेज कर रहे हैं इसके जो ब्लेड जो है ना ये तेज कर रहे हैं ऐसे और ये भी स्टाइल देखो यार साइकिल पे जबरदस्त टांग चल रही है ये पैर चल रही है और फिर वो आगे से वो कर रहे हैं यार क्या बात है Just look at ये देखो All right, guys, I want to talk about a few things, all right? But my focus today is going to be about Sharia law. Now, hopefully you guys can read between the lines, all right? I'm going to present some things to you and just read between the lines regarding Sharia law and the fear-mongering that has been happening for almost 3 decades, for 30 years, almost 30 years, since 2000. Now, check this out. First, there are no communities or cities in the United States under Sharia law. Doesn't exist. You know why it doesn't exist? Because the US prevents any religious law from being the basis of laws that apply to everyone. It's in the Constitution. It's not allowed. Sharia law can never be implemented in the US. No cities, no states, none of that. All right, it's in the Constitution. It's by law. So forget about what is Sharia law. I mean, learn about it, okay? Or from an education. Maybe don't learn about it. But ultimately, none of that even matters because it cannot even be implemented per the Constitution. Can't happen. Okay, now this is where I say the fear mongering is happening. The propaganda is happening. Why is that happening? Let's check it out, you guys. So in the year 2000, now this is a year before life changed forever here in America. Our national debt was $5.674 trillion. This is in 2000, okay? 5.674 trillion was the national debt. As of March 2025, the debt has skyrocketed to $36.22 trillion. Now, that's $31 trillion in that the debt has risen. The national debt has risen by $35 trillion. Where did that money go? It's kind of interesting because 2001, we had the invasion of Iraq, which was based on WMDs, which were never found. But oops, whatever it is, what it is. But since we're here, let's continue on. Now, in government, in 2025, Muslims are just 5. There's 4 Muslims currently serving in the Congress, okay? And that's all of the House of Representatives. All are members of the Democratic Party. Only 4. Okay, that's the representation of Muslims in Congress and Senate, etc. Okay, just 4. But you got to think about why the fear-mongering, why this nonsense that's going around about Sharia law and all this other stuff. AIPAC has given over $100 million to just Donald Trump. Okay, that was for his campaign. Only one family has given that. Now you got to think, right? Why is a lobbyist that's representing one country with tons of dual citizen members, okay? Members in our government that are putting a foreign flag, singing a foreign national anthem, why would they do that, okay? Because what's happening is they're taking our tax money, putting the debt, the inflation on us, and in return, that money goes overseas, and then that money is going into the campaigns, into the pockets of our politicians. And that's where you hear the fear-mongering of Sharia law, because that justifies it. Everybody will now look and say, oh, keep that crap out of here. That's not good. And that's where the fear-mongering is coming in. But they are exploiting us, the middle class, the lower class. They are using our resources to privatize for them, for themselves, not the people, but it's going to privatize them. Here is the US inflation from the year 2000 to 2022. What do you notice here? The inflation has skyrocketed. That is the cost of living for us. Groceries, gas, utilities, everything has gone up. Why? Because we need to pay for that $31 trillion. That's on us. That's our bill, not their bill. The people that are making laws, the people that are implementing and using our money. The Pentagon has failed 6 audits in a row. All of that stuff is on our backs. And that's why the middle class is shrinking, the wealth disparity is growing, and the rich, the 1% of our country's population, owns over 60% of the resources. Now, the stock market lost $2 trillion just in one day. That was just yesterday with the announcements of the tariffs. Tell me someone that you think is probably going to be immune from the tariffs. That's going to be the 1% because there's workarounds. There's going to be bailouts. There's going to be subsidies. But you know who's not going to get bailed out? Us. We heard this garbage about everyone's going to receive $5,000 for, what are they, like a check, right? A $5,000, I'm forgetting the word. Has anybody gotten any money? Has anybody made any money from any of the wars or anything else? That's going into the pockets of the industrial complex. That is money that the lobbyists are taking and the lobbyists are returning back into campaigns. And this is why people are getting picked up from the streets and being taken away into unknown locations by masked men that honestly probably don't even work with the government. Why are they hiring private contractors abroad and here? Because they don't have to adhere to the same rules. They can pretty much do whatever they want to. And then when there's legal consequences, they get bailed out. They get saved. They get pardoned, which we have seen time and time again. So look, we want to talk about Sharia law. Let's talk about it. Let's whatever. We can discuss it, okay? Whether you think it's good or bad, whatever. That's a moot point. The Sharia law, from my understanding, one law of Sharia law is you must follow the law of the land. Nobody is saying that you need to come in with Sharia law and you need to do this or do that. That's all fear-mongering. Forget about whatever those details, because in the end of the day, it's against the Constitution. It prevents the Constitution. Okay, but there are areas that you have a certain religious group, you have ambulances, you have police, you have a full-on network, you have groups that have opened communities all within their name. That can be minority religious groups, and that's okay. But now when it's coming to things like the Epic City in Texas, when it's coming to anywhere where there can be some rise in power or just some moves, it doesn't matter on merit. It doesn't matter about the resume. It doesn't matter about it doesn't matter about academia. But you know what matters? The color of people's skin, the origin of the people, the religion of the people. So you got to tell me, with everything that I showed you, with the debt at now $36 trillion, the performances, the intricate performances of Doge or Cory Booker or any of these idiots that are accepting AIPAC money, that are taking money from a foreign government, you got to ask yourself, why would there be fear-mongering? Read between the lines. Ask yourself who has benefited the most. And tell me why Zios like Madeleine Albright are saying that 500,000 children being unalived, it's a very hard choice, but the price is worth it. If you're okay with that, if you're happy with having that on your morality, if you're having that to be good on your conscience, then you're a piece of shit just like them. But this is ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Sharia law fear-mongering, because it can't happen. It's not legally possible. The land grabs, the growth, the taking of our tax dollars, where is this money going? Why? Think about that, you guys. Get off of the smoke screens, get off of the gaslighting, and ask yourself, use your brains. Why are they doing this? It's all for our money. It's all for leverage. They're using our money, other people's money, for their causes. Happened with Halliburton, Dick Cheney, happened with Bush. These guys are privatizing their public resources for themselves. The pharmaceutical industry does it. They use our money for research and then privatize these companies for their benefit. All right, guys, I want to talk.
Here's a Muslim leader in Chicago.
Repeat this enough, where we don't have this aqidah concept firm in our minds that Islam did not come to coexist.
Okay. Good to know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Islam لا يعلى. Islam يعلو ولا يعلى عليه. And Islam is raised high and nothing is raised above Islam. We can't think of Islam that it came to live with these other religions, in the sense that Islam is a religion amongst those religions, and they have a share with the truth. And they have a share of justice. And they have a share of, this worship of Allah, the correct worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam came to correct all of that. Islam came to remove the oppression of all those religions, and it is the only truth, and it is the only way to justice.
The only truth. Here's a
Charlie Kirk was unalive today. Let's talk about it. I absolutely hated the guy. Yes, we had differences, a lot of differences of opinions. Frankly, he hated me too. We never met each other, but we hated each other. And the sad part is I hated him because of his views, but he hated me just because I existed. If you guys have heard Charlie Kirk speak about Muslims, you guys would know that he absolutely hated Muslims. He was a xenophobe and an Islamophobe, a very proud one. He was loud and proud about it. As a matter of fact, he got paid to do it, and he accepted, and gladly he ran with it. He called Islam a cancer. He said Islam is not compatible with Western values. He said a bunch of other bullshit, okay? Islam worships Satan, so on and so forth, okay? So I don't give a shit that he's gone, because frankly speaking, actions have consequences. And It's not out who did it yet. I know they got a white guy, but then they said it's not him, and the thing is still at large. Of course, this is going to be pinned on a Muslim guy, of course. But let me tell you, when people are telling me or saying, hey, guess what, man? You know, we can't, as much as we disagree with each other, we can't go unaliving each other, man. That's not right. That's political violence should never be tolerated. Okay, cool. I can list an entire list, okay, for you right now for international crimes, okay? Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Libya, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt, Qatar. The list goes on and on. I could talk about international issues all day long, but we're not going to do that. Even though the reason became from weapons of mass destruction to it turned into, well, they hate us for our religious freedoms real quickly. But let's not talk about international. Let's keep it domestic. Why were we, America, beating the shit and pepper spraying students on a college campus because of their political viewpoints? Why were we deporting students because of their political viewpoints? Why were we arresting American citizens because of their op-eds and their political views? Why are we making it a crime in this country to criticize a certain country? It's not, you guys know what I'm talking about? Why is it a crime to do that? Why are veterans getting arrested because they're protesting during a politician's speech? Okay, no matter where it is. Why is Mike Johnson saying anybody who stands up and boos or criticizes Netanyahu on his visit next week will be arrested? Why are we doing that? What do you call all that shit? Is that not political violence? Is that not, like, what are we doing here? You know, this is absolute hypocrisy at the highest level. On one side, you're saying, guys, let's keep it civil. But on the other side, you got a president who's pardoning the January 6th rioters, who's basically saying, fight! What the fuck do you think that means? Oh, no, the fight, it's symbolic. Shut the fuck up. No, it's not. It's literally what it sounds like. ICE is literally ripping families apart. They're literally doing the shittiest things. Okay, all for what? A fucking bonus. And it's crazy. The country is more divided probably than it's ever been, ever. And it's because of people like Charlie Kirk that have continued that problem. They're not part of the solution. They want to continue that problem to divide. And that's how they're stealing our tax dollars. Burn in hell. Toodles. Hey, by the way, now that you're gone, you're going to meet the creator. The truth will prevail. So let me know if you see Satan up there.